Here's the funny thing about property. Almost no one regrets buying the right property, but almost everyone has a story about a property they should have bought 10 years ago and how much that property is worth now. So just think back 10 years ago. If you're over 30 years old, then you've already seen this play out right in front of you. There was a property that you looked at the numbers, you thought about buying it, you maybe even spoke to a mortgage broker, but you didn't act and you didn't buy it. Now, when you look at that exact same property, you know that that value has gone up by a couple of $100,000 and you really kick yourself, probably more than once, that you didn't buy that property. I know that. Everyone has that feeling. And that's exactly how the FOMO in everyone in Australia's buying behavior works. They will be hesitant in buying a property. Maybe it's not the right time, or the interest rates, they're not sure what's happening politically, they're not sure what the election's going to mean, or whatever else. They'll come up with every excuse under the sun why they're not going to buy. And then all of a sudden the market starts to shift, prices start to move, and then all of a sudden everyone's fighting over the exact same property for a higher price than before. It literally happens every single cycle. But when you zoom out and look at the Australian property market as a whole, prices don't typically move in a straight line. They trend upwards, but they do move up, down, sideways, etc. And the people who win are the ones who aren't listening to the media, aren't buying into the hype. They're making decisions based on fundamentals and making those data-driven decisions to make sure they buy in the right areas that should be growing in capital growth over the long term. And they're going to try and catch as many property waves as possible. So I'm from Sydney, and there's a lot of people still in 2025 in Sydney trying to catch the Sydney wave, when really the good property investors were buying in Sydney in those 2013-14 years. Then they moved to Melbourne, then they moved to Brisbane, then they moved to Perth, and now they're looking at different areas around the country. So if you're over 30 years old, you've already lived through this and you've already seen this happen, play out right in front of you. You know that the opportunity cost is in waiting and not from buying and holding. So if you want to build a property portfolio, it's time to take action. You need to work out a bit of a strategy first. Don't just go rush in and buy anything. Make sure you're buying the right property. If you need any help, shoot me a DM and I'm happy to help you.